Folks, you're not going to believe what's been going on down in San Antonio. The Alamo, yes, the Alamo, has been going woke. That's right. The shrine of Texas liberty, the battleground where Davy Crockett, Jim Bowie, and William Travis made their stand for freedom, was quietly being rebranded into a DEI museum project under director Kate Rogers. Rogers was just forced out after Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said enough is enough. She resigned after her own writings and public statements revealed what she was really up to, turning the Alamo story into another politically correct reinterpretation, full of buzzwords like colonization, indigenous reconciliation, and inclusive narratives. Now, nobody's saying we can't teach the full history, but there's a world of difference between adding context and rewriting legacy. Under her leadership, the Alamo Trust started posting things like honoring Indigenous peoples on Indigenous Peoples Day and promising new exhibits about the tribes that shaped the region. Sounds fine until you realize what wasn't being celebrated. The heroism, sacrifice, and sheer grit of the men who stood their ground against tyranny. That's the story that made the Alamo, the Alamo. The woke crowd never misses a chance to tear down the heroes of this country and replace them with their endless frameworks of oppression. It's the same playbook we've seen in universities, museums, and corporate boardrooms. They dress it up in fancy academic language, expanded perspective, shared narrative. But it all means one thing: erase the parts of history that don't fit their ideology. Let's be clear. What Rogers was trying to do was take a sacred symbol of Texas freedom and turn it into a sociology project. And Texans weren't having it. Dan Patrick and other leaders stood up and said no more. They called it out for what it was, the woke Alamo. This wasn't some innocent academic debate. It was part of a national pattern of cultural capture. Step 1, infiltrate institutions. Step 2, rewrite the story. Step 3, shame anyone who pushes back as closed-minded. Well, not in Texas. Not at the Alamo. Remember, these same folks who want to make the Alamo about colonial trauma are the same ones who think men can be women and fossil fuels are evil. Their worldview depends on erasing strength, pride, and sacrifice, the exact virtues that built America and made Texas legendary. So when Dan Patrick stood up and said Rogers' vision was incompatible with the Alamo, he wasn't just saving a job site. He was saving the meaning of the Alamo itself. Ask anyone with Texas roots or Texas blood how important the Alamo is and why the right people have to be in charge of preserving its history, and you'll get an earful. And you should. It matters. Because bending history to fit a woke narrative has never had a good outcome. Not once. We see it every day. The decay in our culture, the rewriting of what's right and wrong, the confusion over who the heroes even are anymore. Is America perfect? Nope. Is Texas perfect? Almost. But I'll tell you what, it's still a whole lot better than the woke, garbage, straight ticket to hell nonsense that modern leftists and liberals are offering up with no apologies. Texas doesn't need to apologize for its pride. The Alamo doesn't need a rewrite. This isn't Hollywood. It's our history. This is 4G Dave, reminding you, if you don't defend your story, someone else will rewrite it for you. And in Texas, that's one battle. We still intend to win.